In a small town, there lived a young boy named Tim and his best friend, a dog named Bela. Tim and Bela were always together. They played in the fields, explored the forests, and swam in the nearby river. Bela was a loyal dog with shiny brown fur and bright, intelligent eyes. Tim loved Bela very much. One sunny morning, Tim and Bela decided to go on an adventure. They wanted to explore the old, mysterious forest at the edge of the town. Tim packed some food, water, and his favorite map in his backpack, and off they went. As they entered the forest, they heard the sound of birds singing and leaves rustling. The forest was cool and shady, and sunlight peeked through the leaves. Tim and Bela walked deeper and deeper into the forest, following a narrow path. After walking for a while, they found a small, sparkling stream. They stopped to drink some water and rest. Tim took out some bread and cheese from his backpack and shared it with Bela. They sat by the stream, enjoying the peaceful sounds of nature. Suddenly, they heard a soft cry. Tim and Bela looked around and saw a tiny, golden bird trapped in a bush. The bird's wing was hurt, and it couldn't fly. Tim carefully freed the bird from the bush and gently held it in his hands. Bela wagged her tail, happy to see the bird safe. The bird looked at Tim with grateful eyes and said, "Thank you for saving me. My name is Goldie. I live in the magical part of this forest. I can show you the way if you help me heal my wing." Tim was surprised to hear the bird talk but agreed to help. He made a small bandage for Goldie's wing using a piece of cloth from his backpack. Goldie rested on Tim's shoulder as they continued their journey. Goldie guided them through the forest, and soon they reached a beautiful, hidden meadow. The meadow was filled with colorful flowers, and there was a big, old tree in the middle. The tree had a door, and Goldie asked Tim to knock on it. Tim knocked on the door, and it slowly opened. Inside, they found a kind, old man named Mr. Greenleaf. He was the guardian of the magical forest. Mr. Greenleaf welcomed Tim and Bela and thanked them for helping Goldie. Mr. Greenleaf told them many stories about the magical forest. He showed them plants that could heal wounds, trees that could talk, and flowers that glowed in the dark. Tim and Bela were amazed by all the magic around them. Goldie's wing healed quickly, thanks to a special potion made by Mr. Greenleaf. Goldie was very happy and offered to take Tim and Bela on a tour of the magical forest. They saw animals that could talk, streams that sparkled like diamonds, and butterflies with wings like rainbows. After a wonderful day of exploring, it was time for Tim and Bela to go home. Goldie and Mr. Greenleaf gave them a small bag of magical seeds as a gift. These seeds could grow into plants that would remind them of their adventure. Tim and Bela thanked their new friends and promised to visit again. They followed Goldie back to the edge of the forest. As they walked back to their town, they felt happy and excited about their magical adventure. When they reached home, Tim planted the magical seeds in his garden. The seeds grew into beautiful plants with flowers that glowed in the moonlight. Tim and Bella's garden became the talk of the town, and everyone loved to hear the story of their adventure in the magical forest. From that day on, Tim and Bella continued to explore new places and have many more adventures. And so, Tim and Bella lived happily, always ready for the next adventure, knowing that magic and wonder were just around the corner. I hope you enjoyed this story and found it easy to understand. If you want to learn English, then the most important thing for you is reading. Reading will help you to speak English well. You are doing both reading and listening together, and if you get stuck while speaking English, so it is not a big deal that big people, businessmen, actresses, actors, they also hesitate in speaking English. You have to think about everything in English and translate it. Then if you make a mistake, then it doesn't matter. This is the best way of speaking English.